Today we got some very interesting update on PlayStation 5 Pro and PS6 release date. And it seems like PlayStation is actually making a super powerful console for the PlayStation 6. And we also have some very exciting news for Ghost of Tsushima 2, which is already in production. We have known this for a while now. And there are some very good signs that this game could get announced very soon. Now, before that, we have some very interesting information about what could possibly turn out to be. The PlayStation is planning on releasing a new PS5 Pro version, and there was recently a new rumor that just came out, which has given us more information about PlayStation 6 than what we've been expecting. And this comes from Rhino on Twitter, where he shared some of these informations, which states that unconfirmed rumor of PlayStation 6. One of the things that we know is that it's going to be the most powerful console of its generation. Of course, this is what both Xbox and PlayStation says, but then only the field test could determine on which console is more powerful. Even with the extra teraflops, we did understand that Xbox is not better than PS5. But then, of course, when it comes to my personal choice, the kind of content and games that's available, PlayStation always takes the win. So it also seems as though PlayStation is actually planning to bring a new console that is related to PlayStation 6. Now, this is not some sort of a PSP or, a much lesser version. It seems like it could be a much more powerful version, which could kind of compete with maybe PlayStation 5 Pro versions or PS5, which seems like at least it's going to be competing with PS5 Pro, or maybe even it could be closer to PS6, because it seems as though a weaker console is of course possible. So PlayStation is actually planning on releasing a PS6 handheld, and then comes PS6 Lite. Now, PS6 Lite is what makes everything interesting, because it seems like PlayStation has some plans in order to release a new console which is much less powerful, and I don't know why they would do that or whatsoever, because we already have a PS5, and rather than going for a PS5 Pro, PlayStation is planning on releasing something called as PS6 Lite, which could possibly be way powerful than the PS5 Pro or whatever version they might end up coming with, which could possibly turn up running Grand Theft Auto 6, which is the upcoming massive title all of the gamers throughout the world are super excited about. GTA 6 is usually like the big bang of gaming, and what better way of welcoming GTA 6 than to have a new PlayStation console, which could turn out to be PS6 Lite version, and later on they might release the full PS6 version alongside PS6 handheld version. Now, I'm guessing that PlayStation is completely getting rid of the Pro version or whatever, and now we're finally moving on to PlayStation 6, with first releasing the weaker console and then releasing the full-on PS6 version. Now, of course, it's currently in development for over a year, so it's still going to take a lot of time. It's still in development, and we still don't have the specs of CPU and RAM yet, but Sony is talking with studios to tweak PlayStation 6, almost assuredly powered by AMD. Sony reportedly signed with AMD. Release window is supposed to be 2028. We still have like 4 years for this to happen. Maybe that's just for the PS6. Maybe PS6 Lite could be the one that Sony might decide to release before GTA 6 comes out, because if you take a look at what Jeff Keighley has announced in the upcoming Summer Game Fest of 2024, he has confirmed that there are going to be 55 partners, which will include some of the biggest industries of gaming, which is Capcom, EA, Epic Games, and unfortunately we're not going to have Ubisoft, because they have now split up and they're going to be creating their own Ubisoft Forward event. But apart from this, what's surprising is that for the very first time, PlayStation is going to be there in Summer Game Fest, which usually Sony doesn't do this because they have their own PlayStation events. But this time, for whatever reason, it seems like they're going for Summer Game Fest, because maybe, Rockstar Games is bringing on GTA 6. So Sony decides to go ahead and reveal whatever PlayStation stuff they're working on in Summer Game Fest. So this year's Summer Game Fest is, of course, going to be very exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. Now, apart from this, there is some very interesting stuff that's going on with Ghost of Tsushima, because a lot of fans are excited for the sequel of this game, because the first game was just incredible, one of the best games out there when it comes to open world, and one of the most beautiful looking game of all time, hands down. Not gonna lie, I mean, Ubisoft is making, Assassin's Creed codename rather, now it's called The Shadows, and a lot of people are really disappointed that we're supposed to play as Yasuke, who's a black samurai character, rather than playing playing as an actual samurai who's from Japanese culture. So that's kind of, a thing that's ticking off a lot of people. So I guess that could be one of the biggest selling points for Ghost of Tsushima 2, even if Assassin's Creed turns out to be an incredible game that's set in Japan, or maybe, it could turn out to be one of the best looking games, even better than Ghost of Tsushima. But still, there is this one thing that's going to tick off the entire gaming community, which is you can actually play as a samurai in Ghost of Tsushima who's from Japan, rather than just playing as a black character, which could be a huge thing, as of course a selling point for PlayStation. Now, usually what PlayStation does is when they release any game, they always release their first party games like Spider-Man and even The Last of Us, and now it is Ghost of Tsushima, which is released on PC versions. And they only do this when they have another sequel that's coming up, because the first Spider-Man game was released on PC versions when Spider-Man 2 was coming out, and then The Last of Us Part 1 was released on PC version when they had The Last of Us Part 2's remake or the remaster version that Sony was releasing for the PlayStation 5. And now they have finally decided to release Ghost of Tsushima on the PC version, which, to be honest, is absolutely fantastic. The game is running like butter smooth, and you can actually play this game on a super wide screen. So if you're someone that has like an incredibly huge wide screen, then I guess this game is going to be your one game that you definitely don't want to be missing out on, because trust me, it is one of the most beautiful looking games of all time, hands down all time. Of course, keeping Red Dead Redemption aside, Ghost of Tsushima is just wonderful. Go ahead and try it, at least for the visuals, if you haven't done this already. So what apparently fans have been speculating is that Sony usually only does this when they have some huge announcement that's coming up, and now they're taking part in Summer Game Fest, which means that, they could be having Ghost of Tsushima 2 coming up right around the corner. And we already had a lot of information leaks and a lot of things that was related to Ghost of Tsushima 2 already being in production, and they've been developing this game for a lot of years now. And finally, we might be seeing this game coming out most probably in 2025. And maybe the sequel for Ghost of Tsushima 2 could be one of those titles which is going to be launching with the new PlayStation 6 Lite version, or maybe they might decide to call it as PS5 Pro, but I guess they're just going to go for the PS6 Lite because it could sell well if they kind of, change the entire numbers and make it seem like it's a completely new generation of console. So they could actually sell more if they do it that way, rather than just selling it as PS5 Pro, especially since we are getting GTA 6. It's one of those games that people really want to get their hands on with the next gen consoles being available out there. So of course, all of this does seem extremely interesting. So I'm really curious to see what Sony is working on with all of these informations that we have just received related to the next gen consoles and Ghost of Tsushima 2, and a lot of speculations, of course. So take all of these things to a grain of salt, because none of these are confirmed information and it's not coming from official source. But then usually when things like these tend to happen, it always turns out to be true. So let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts and what do you guys feel? And if at all Sony does release a PlayStation 6 Lite version as a pro consumer model instead of releasing a PS5 Pro, would you guys buy it before GTA 6 comes out, or do you think that you're just going to be playing GTA 6 on the PlayStation 5 console? Because I honestly think that PlayStation 5 is a much weaker console in order to run a game like GTA 6. Like if you take a look at the graphics and everything that Rockstar has been working with GTA 6 and the kind of mechanism the game is being built with, I honestly think that, GTA 6 is nowhere close to even being able to run at 60 frames per second on the PS5 console. And if at all I'm playing GTA 6, man, I would love to play the game for the very first time on the best console or the best hardware that's available. Unfortunately, since it's not releasing for the PC version anytime soon, because Rockstar Games takes a lot of time in order to perfect the game for all the different kinds of hardware that PC is available with. So I'm just guessing that maybe it could possibly take about a year or so after the official launch of this game on the console versions. So before that, I would love to play this game on PS6 Lite. Will you guys be selling off your PS5 and getting the PS6 Lite just for playing GTA 6, or will you be holding your PS5? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're someone that is planning on getting PS5 and if you don't have the console already, I would strongly suggest you guys to just wait until GTA 6 drops in, because there will definitely be some kind of huge hardware upgrades or new console generations that could drop, or maybe even a PS5 Pro version or the PS6 Lite could be dropping. So just hold on for a little while instead of wasting your money, instead of getting a PS5 at this point, because it's already already too late. It's already been 4 years since PS5 released. So we're already in the midlife of this console. So now it's finally time that PlayStation decides to upgrade the console and give us something better, especially since we are getting GTA 6. So I would honestly recommend you guys to hold back. And if at all you guys are thinking, maybe, what, chuck the console generations, let me just go full on with PC upgrades, get a full on gaming PC, then also keep this in mind that any game that's going to be launching is, of course, going to be launching first for the console. And GTA 6, of course, is going to take at least a year or maybe 2 years after the official launch of console generation. Keep that in mind before you invest your money into whatever hardwares if you're looking forward to, playing Grand Theft Auto 6. So that's just a bit of advice from me. So you can, of course, do whatever you want. It's your money. You go ahead and spend it or save it. It's completely up to you guys. You're grown adults, I believe. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Would you guys be getting the PS6 Lite just for GTA 6? I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I will also try to reply to as many of you guys as I possibly can in the comments down below. And with that being said, if you guys are looking for a YouTube channel that always keeps you guys updated with all the latest news and updates and informations about upcoming games, then this channel is, of course, going to be your #1 stop, because I always upload and keep all of my subscribers updated with all the latest content that's going on in the gaming industry. Now, if you guys did go on and enjoy this video, and if you guys are excited for PS6 Lite version, drop a like on this video and show your support. It really means a lot to the content that I make for you guys. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.